No, the topic chosen is Introducing Kali-Santarana-Upanishad. Kali Yuga, Santarana. At some places, it is called Santarana. Santarana or Santarana both refer to crossing or overcoming various problems, trials, and tribulations that are the characteristics of this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, after the Satya Yuga, Dvāpāra Yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, then Dvāpāra Yuga. This is the fourth, and all of us are in Kali Yuga, as per the overwhelming majority of Vedic scholars. There are some who say we are still in Satya Yuga. I think that's a minority. In every matter there are always some people with a different view. But you and I believe we are in Kali Yuga. As we will see, the mantras, there are just about 3 or 4 mantras in this Kali-Santarana-Upanishad. And in the very first mantra, it is said at the end of Dvāpāra Yuga, the third Yuga, which is, I guess, Copper Yuga. Satya Yuga is the golden age, Treta Yuga is the silver age, and Dvāpāra Yuga is the copper age, and our times are the iron age. Lower and lower in terms of quality, much more impurities, much more kama, krodha, and other negativities in the air, in everybody's minds. And as a result, it's a scary time. Nārada, in the very first mantra, goes to Chaturmukha Brahma, the four-faced creator form of the universal supreme God, and says, how are we to manage? He puts the question apparently from his own point of view. As I roam around the globe, as I go on the earth to various places, how am I to deal with the negativities, the tremendous amount of mistrust and distrust and conflict and wars and whatnot? And then Chaturmukha Brahma smilingly answers, don't you know, no matter how huge the problems are, there is a simple solution. Along with Kali Yuga, which is indeed hard, we have provided humanity with a great tool, and that tool is Namasmarana. First, Chaturmukha Brahma says, remember Lord Nārāyana always, as much as possible. In view of highlighting Mahavishnu, this Upanishad is regarded as a Vaishnava Upanishad. There are some Upanishads which are Shaiva Upanishads or Shakta Upanishads. Some are Yoga Upanishads. Some are Devi Para Upanishads. So there are some classifications of Upanishads, though the 10 major Upanishads that we Advaita Vedantins study with great interest and dedication are all focused on the non-dual Brahma, while these other Upanishads eventually bring us to that Brahma Jnana. Some of you may wonder, where from is this Kali-Santarana-Upanishad? It seems to be from Yajurveda, because even in Mantra Pushpam, the very, very popular publication by Sri Ramakrishna Mission, the Shanti mantra given at the beginning of Kali-Santarana-Upanishad is Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And we know that this Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu is associated with Krishna Yajurveda. So is Shanno Mitra Sham Varuna. You see, all of you know Taittiriya Upanishad. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, the Shanti mantras are on one hand, Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha, Shanno Bhavatvaryama, and so on. On the other, Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu. Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu is connected or attached to this Kali-Santarana Upanishad. Therefore, I have reason to believe that this is from the Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda. As you know, the Shukla Yajurveda, from where we study generally two major Upanishads, Ishavasya and Brihadaranyaka, have Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate as their Shanti mantra at the beginning and at the end of the text. So what has prompted us to introduce Kali-Santarana-Upanishad in this webinar is a certain general curiosity and inquiry that we heard from different people, seekers. And Kali-Santarana, if it is specially made for our times, should we not at least know the gist of it? Therefore, I do not claim to be a mighty scholar on Kali-Santarana-Upanishad, but I will share with you some basics of this Kali-Santarana-Upanishad. It's one of the simplest and the shortest Upanishads in the entire range of or spectrum of so many Upanishads. Incidentally, many of you may know there is a certain Upanishad, it itself is a Upanishad, Muktika Upanishad, where Sri Rama gives to Hanuman a list of Upanishads. Muktika also included in that. He gives a list of 108 Upanishads. At one place, within an Upanishad, you have a list of 108 Upanishads. And out of those 108, which have been listed, enumerated, given one after another by Sri Ram, the Kali-Santarana Upanishad appears as the 103rd member. It has been thus recognized in the Muktika Upanishad itself. Of course, the major Upanishads, which are believed to be 10, Isha, Kena, Kata, Mundaka, Aitareya, Prashna, Mandukya, Chandogya, and Brihadaranyaka, are studied widely along with Adi Shankaracharya's Bhashya and so on. So we shall take or have some glimpses of this Kali-Santarana Upanishad. We'll see all the four mantras. The numbering, some places it has been numbered as 5 numbers, some places the number is 6, depending on where you put the double, full stop, etc. But I think it is about 4 mantras essentially. And we will, with this general introduction, plunge into this Kali-Santarana Upanishad in the original form. To do so, I will share some simple slides. Okay. Introducing Kali-Santarana Upanishad. Among so many other Upanishads, and we already said this is from Krishna Yajurveda. This is webinar 277 and is going to be a simple narration of certain salient points from the Kali-Santarana Upanishad. Before we plunge into it, I must acknowledge I myself got some valuable information, a good translation, and the mantras in a very nicely expressed way from this website, which is from the Aurobindo Ashram in Pondicherry. I tell you, they have done a good job. It is, as the link to the website is shown here, upanishads.org.in. And at that website, in addition to giving practically a large number, I have not counted, probably 100 Upanishads have been given with the mantras, with Hindi translation, and I guess English translation also, and chanting, recitation. It's a wonderful. So a wonderful Sanskrit scholar from Orissa, Shri Professor Sampadanand Mishra, headed that team, I believe. He has been in Pondicherry and he has been serving the cause of Sanskrit language quite a lot. There are YouTube videos by Dr. Sampadanand Mishra, and he has overseen this website too. It's a great job. I compliment and appreciate him. Over there, before they get into different Upanishads, there is a nice quote for simplicity, for ease of comprehension by you and me also. I divided it into some 7 bullets, 6 or 7 bullets, 6. Otherwise, Sri Aurobindo's language was like that. Very long sentence with a lot of vocabulary, a lot of you know, rather difficult expressions. So this is a single paragraph, it's a single sentence actually, but we have divided it into some bullets. Sri Aurobindo, who hailed from Bengal but spent most of his life after maybe age of 25 or 30, he moved away. He had to escape from the British. Therefore, he went to Pondicherry as per the advice of some good friend, because Pondicherry was not under the British, as you know, it was under the French. So he, to save himself from the trouble that they were trying to inflict upon him, who had arrested him, but then he got released in the famous trial, he went to Pondicherry. And then his whole life took a different direction. His life took a different direction when he was in jail near Kolkata. But then it went deeper and deeper, and phenomenal amount of work he did. The compositions, the writings, the literature he left behind is simply humongous. So he has said about Upanishads, he has said many other things too, but here is one paragraph. The Upanishads are the supreme work of the Indian mind, and that it should be so, that the highest self-expression of its genius. See, first of all, it's the supreme work of the Indian mind. Then he says it's the highest self-expression of the Indian mind's genius. It's sublimest poetry. Yes, Aurobindo recognized so much of poetry in the Upanishadic literature, mantras. Then he says, its greatest creation of the thought and word should be not a literary or poetical masterpiece of the ordinary kind. This connects with the earlier part that it should be so. It should be so that its greatest creation of the thought and word should not be a literal or poetical masterpiece, but much more. What is meant is, it is of course a great creation, but it's much more than that. Therefore, it should not be, or should be not. But a large flood of spiritual revelation. Look at how he puts it. It's a large flood of spiritual revelation of this direct and profound character. That it is all this is a significant fact. That it is all this described in so many ways. is a significant fact. He means to say, he seems to mean that he is not exaggerating. It is a significant fact, and it is evidence of a unique mentality, an unusual turn of spirit. Sri Aurobindo is unique, and much that he has said about the Vedas and the Vedanta will always remain a great legacy for generations, for centuries to come. I have no doubt about it. Now we come to the mantras of Kali-Santarana-Upanishad. Sri Nārada, as I studied a little in preparation for this webinar, I guess it was in the Wikipedia. As you know, Wikipedia is contributions from people from around the world. Many of you may know what the word wiki means. W-I-K-I. W-I-K-I means what I know is. What I know is. That becomes wiki. And like encyclopedia, Wikipedia. So you and I also could write something and upload it onto Wikipedia. And all we are saying is, what I know is, wiki, is this. Once I was searching for some material to give a talk somewhere. I was a little nervous. Next day was the talk, and I didn't have enough material. Then I looked for, on the internet, and the Wikipedia said, yes, there is some material on this topic. I went there, and it says, Swami Chidananda is going to give lectures on this. Oh, that was another announcement in Google. In the Wikipedia, it was said, Swami Chidananda has given lectures on this. So it is turning the whole search to myself. So I now have to look at my own lectures. Where are my lectures? When did I give? And so on. Anyway, Wikipedia, I was saying about Nārada. There's a mischievous sentence there, which many of us would not dismiss. That is, Nārada is known for causing conflicts, causing quarrels, causing misunderstandings, many a time between a king and the queen, between father and son, between wonderful friends. Narada goes and creates some confusion. And then it is said it is all for some Deva Karya, some God's work to take place. So it is justified, it is more than justified. Narada would not do any such thing without a divine purpose in it and so on. So this Narada, who is one of the most illustrious sages, Devarshi, he was essentially a Deva and a God meaning the Devata, and then he was also a Rishi. He goes to Brahma. Dvāpārante Nārada Brahmanam Jagama. Narada approached Brahma. Brahma in neuter is the non-dual Advaita Brahma. That is not referred to here. Brahma Shabda, Brahman Nakaranta. In masculine is reference to this Chaturmukha Brahma. Brahma, Brahmano, Brahmana, Brahmanam, Brahmano, Brahmana, Brahmana, Brahmabhyam, Brahmabhihi, and like that the Vibhakti applies. But as regards the non-dual Brahman, there is no dual or plural. It's not possible. Like for the word apaha, which means water, there is no singular or dual. It's always in plural. These are some peculiarities of the Sanskrit language. So, moment you see this Brahmanam, it is a masculine being, that is Chaturmukha Brahma. Brahma goes over there. Katham Bhagavan, oh revered sir, Gam Paryatan. Gam somewhere else can mean a cow. Gauh Gavo Gavaha, Gam Gavo Gaha, like that the Vibhakti goes. Gam means is the Dvitiya Vibhakti of the word for cow. But the same word equally means the earth. This earth where we live. Narada's question is, as I go around the earth, from Asia to the United States or the Americas, from Australia to Europe and so on, Africa to other places. Kalim katham santareyam. Kali, the very word itself means problems, turmoil, fights, all kinds of negativities. So it is Yuga also. And Brahma, Dirgha, see, Advaita Brahma is without a Dirgha. Brahma is Brahma. Brahma ha uvacha. Sab Brahma ha uvacha. First, the teacher, Brahma here, compliments Narada. Sadhu prashtosmi. Like passive voice, I have been asked so wonderfully, so nicely. I have been asked so nicely. In other words, oh Narada, you have asked me a most wonderful question. Now, very willingly, very gladly, I come forward to share with you. Sarva Shruti Rahasyam Tat Shrinu. Listen, the supreme secret of all Vedas, all the Upanishads. Yena Kali-Sansaram Tarishyasi. Just as what Sri Krishna taught Arjuna was not meant only for Arjuna, but it is for the benefit of all of us. Here too, what Lord Brahma taught Narada is for every one of us. And here comes the teaching. First, in a general way, Mahavishnu or Nārāyana. Bhagavatah Adipurushasya Nārayanasya Namocharana Matrena Nirdhuta Kalir Bhavati. This alone is enough as a form of takeaway. An Upanishad saying this is very significant. Narayanasya Nama Ucharana Matrena. Therefore, there is that stotra where the line comes. Nama Smaranadanyopayam Nahi Pashyamo Bhavatarane Rama Hare Krishna Hare. In this way, there is a stotra, a hymn. There we have this line. Nama Smaranad Anyopayam Nahi Pashyamo Bhavatarane. In the matter of crossing, getting over endless affliction of these times, there is nothing other than, nothing more effective than Nama Smarana. Nama Ucharana Matrena Nirdhuta Kalir Bhavati. This Kali is pulverized. The problems of Kali Yuga are made to vanish into thin air by Nama Ucharana. In recent times or in recent centuries, so many saints and sages have come upon the earth and on the Indian soil, in the east and in the west, in the north and in the south, in every corner, saints have declared, have proclaimed the efficacy of Namasmarana. Satya Sai Baba gave a story where a little boy was playing marble with his friends. And that boy's father one day is watching his young little son playing, and it occurs to me that the marble that the son, little 8-year-old son, let's say, was playing with, that son's marble, the marble which was in the hands of his son, was shining a little more than usual. He calls the son inside, give me that marble, and then sees, oh, this seems to be some precious stone. And then he goes to a jeweler, and the jeweler examines it and says, well, you give it to me, I can give you 100 rupees. The father was about to give it, but then something inside him says to him, wait a minute, right? You ask another jeweler. So next day he goes to another jeweler, and that jeweler takes it, keeps quiet for a moment, for a few seconds or a minute, and then says, I'll give you 1,000 rupees. The father of the boy who was playing marble with that stone is shocked. 1,000 rupees? Then again, after another 2 days, goes to another bigger jeweler. 10,000 is offered. 100,000 rupees is offered. And so on. The story is just that much only. And Satya Sai Baba used to say, please do not underestimate Nama Smarana. Nama, name of God, is like that precious stone with which that man's son was playing marble. God forbid if it had been lost into some ditch in somebody took it away. What a big loss it would have been. And more jewelers this man approached, the price of that marble, that stone was increasing. So Nama is like that. Initially you think it's something to play with. It's very serious. It's one of the most effective ways. Now you may ask Swamiji, we were talking all Vedanta all these days. Suddenly, why did you change gear? Why did you change the gear? you know, from top gear to maybe first gear, whatever. And what happens to then Tattvamasi Mahavakya? Understanding the Vedanta statements, coming upon the clearest understanding of our true nature, Swasya Swarupa Vijnanam, and all that Shankara Siddhanta. And how come you say today Rama is so powerful? There is no contradiction as far as I am concerned. For me, whenever such portions, such texts and such scriptures come before me, I fully appreciate it. I feel that when it is said, Nama, Namasmarana with bhakti takes us all the way, what is meant is not literally all the way, it does 99% of the job. It gives to us such a pure mind through drashta and adrashta ways. What is drashta way? Drishta means what we can figure out, what we can see, what we can, with our logic, with our senses, find out. When you repeat Nama, it's not as easy as we imagine. So many thoughts come. So many distractions happen. Even if we are in a quiet place, nobody else in the house, our mind, like a monkey, would say, it's nice you are doing japa, but there is something in the fridge. Why don't you take a little bit of it and then come back to the japa? So, all alone, but still some temptations. Why not you take some 5 minutes rest, lie down, and then get up? You'll be more fresh and you can do the japa better. All temptations. You think of resting for 5 minutes, you sleep more and you get so lazy, whatever inspiration you had for sadhana would vanish. Therefore, if one is steadfast in namasmarana, it actually weakens these vasanas, weakens these tendencies to go for some pleasure or to go for watching something which is violent. Because the human mind has an attraction towards both. A movie that has a lot of destruction. Somewhere today in Mumbai, in some house, for just a minute or so, I saw a clip of some movie. The idea was to see a very highly technically advanced personal what you call home theater in that house. This movie clip was just it came up. Godzilla versus King Kong or something. and very high-tech science production, and it came on a big screen, and the sound effects in that home theater was so advanced. It was as though the ground under me was shaking. The whole room was shaking when the Godzilla he began to attack some New York City or whatever. So that also interests us. It's all violence. So much death, so much destruction, so many things getting burnt. But we are very curious. Now what will happen? Will somebody control this Godzilla, or will somebody catch hold of this King Kong, whoever? So we have great pull towards acts of violence and acts of fun and pleasure and merrymaking also. But Nama can be our support. Hold on to the Nama. Old vasanas rise. Tendencies make us think of this, think of that. But holding on to Nama, we don't yield to them. When we do not yield to those temptations on the thought level, on the speech level, and on action level, they become weaker and weaker. With some satsanga, with some study, with some association with those who are truly devoted to God, the whole practice has to become easier. So the coming together of this bhakti sadhana with Advaita Jnana is in this way. Nama Japa can bring us to a very high level of Chitta Shuddhi. And with the Chitta Shuddhi, just a little bit of essential Vedanta is enough to make us, help us see the falsity of our separate self. Nirdhuta kalir bhavati namocharana matrena. Nirdhuta means completely destroyed. Kali and Kali's effects are destroyed. Now, we go to the next mantra. Nārada again asks, Nārāyana Nama, which Nama are you talking about? Actually, name Nārāyana itself is good. As you know, in Vishnu Sahasranama, the name Rāma. Today, a young lady visited me at about 5:30, and she said with folded hands, Swamiji, I am not so well read as you are, but I believe in Vishnu Sahasranama. And I was very pleased to hear her say that in the Vishnu Sahasranama, in the Falashruti, doesn't Shiva himself say to Parvati that of all the 1000 names, Rama, the name Rama is good, is the best. Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanani. Sometimes we think this younger generation, these young men and young women are far away from spirituality. But this girl knew this shloka also, and she says, I think of Rama. For Rama represents 1000 names of Mahavishnu, as Shiva has said to Parvati. Of course, she didn't know the meaning of all the words. Then I asked her, do you know what Varanane means? I said, I don't know that. She said, Varanane is how Shiva addresses Parvati. Oh, one of lovely face, Vara. So, in principle, the teaching has been given. Take Nārāyana, take Rama, take Krishna, take Shiva. However, Sahovacha Hiranyagarbhaha. When Nārada asked which particular name would you prescribe, Sa Hiranyagarbhaha. Chaturmukha Brahma is also sometimes called Hiranyagarbha. He is the total subtle body, the intelligence associated with the total subtle. And this made Kali-Santarana-Upanishad. Sometimes it is called Kali-Santara-Upanishad also. Because Santarana and Santara, Santara, Santarana, all of them are valid. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. A whole lot of us believe that in addition to Rama and Krishna, there is the word Hare. A whole lot of us have been believing that Hare is the Sambodhana, vocative case of Hari Shabda. When you want to call Hari in Sanskrit, you have to say Hare. When you want to call Guru, you have to say Guru. So there is something called Sambodhana Vibhakti. Apart from the 7 cases, Pratama, Uditiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti and Saptami, there is a Sambodhana Vibhakti. So Hare is the Sambodhana addressing form of Hari. But I too thought of it that way. Today as I was looking at some literature, I came upon and then I said, yes, I had heard this long back but forgotten. In the Vaishnava tradition, especially of Gaudiya Math, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tradition and so on, it is said that Hare refers to Radha. How can the word Hare refer to Radha? You see, Hare is not only, as we said already, the vocative case of Hari Shabda, it is also the vocative case of Hara Shabda, Dirgha Hara, like Rama, Mala, Kanta, Sita, Dirgha, So if there is a word Hara, then the Sambodhana, you want to call that lady called Hara, you have to say Hare, Mama Prashnam Shrunu. Listen to my question or accept my prayers. Mama Prarthanam Swikurushva Hare. So the Vaishnava Parampara, it takes Hare as the Sambodhana of Hara. And who is Hara? Hara is Radha. Because Hara Shabda can mean Vishnu also. Just as Hari Shabda can mean Shiva also. In Shiva's 1000 names, one of them is Hari. And in Vishnu's thousands of names, one is Hara. So Hara is one who loved Hari Sri Krishna with all her heart. That was Radha. So you have 8 times the word Hare coming here. And therefore, more than Rama and Krishna. Rama word comes 4 times, Krishna comes 4 times. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Or Rama, 4 times, Krishna 4 times. So they together are 8, whereas Radha's name alone comes 8 times. That is the importance given to passionate and sincere and earnest love of God. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, called the Hare Krishna movement, have chosen to put Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare first, and Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare second. They may have some justification for it. Probably some other version, some Patantara could be having that. I haven't found out their answer yet. But as we see it in Kali-Santarana-Upanishad, it is Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare first, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare in the second half. Brahmaji himself says, Iti Shodashakam Namnam. This set of 16 names, Namnam, of names, there is a bunch of 16. As we said, 8 times Radha is remembered. Or if some of you wish to look at the word Hare as Sambodhana of Hari, Mahavishnu himself, that's fine too. Then whether it's Hare or Rama or Krishna, all of them are pointing to one Mahavishnu. Incidentally, I need not say, but if somebody does not know the most basic part of it, Rama and Krishna also are in Sambodhana here. Otherwise, it would be Ramaha. So it's all Sambodhana. Oh Radhe, oh Rama, oh Radhe, oh Krishna, oh addressing, calling out. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, no matter how little you know God, call out God, seek God. And very sweetly he would say in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna Charitamritam, or that big book. He says, a child, a 4 months old child, crawling or trying to crawl on the floor, may mispronounce the name of or the right way of addressing mother. Instead of Ma, the child may say Ma or Me. Does it matter to the mother? The mother may be in the next room attending to some work. The moment she hears the calling of the little child, she comes running. She doesn't say you didn't pronounce properly and so on. Sri Ramakrishna, sweet example, says to us, we don't need much knowledge. We don't need grammar. We don't need all those. What we need is sincere love. Somebody says, I don't have enough love to. I don't love God. Don't say you don't. Maybe you love God very less than most other people. Nobody can claim I don't have any love. Every one of us has at times a little more, at times a little less. With whatever little bhakti you have, go on with your practice. Here Brahmaji says, Kali Kalmasha Nashanam. This bunch of 16 names, though some of them are essentially Krishna repeated 4 times, Rama repeated 4 times, and Hara or Hari repeated 8 times, but they are considered 16. Swami Chinmayananji would have said these are 16 arrows sent towards one target, one goal. That's what he said about Vishnu Sahasranam. 1,000 arrows all reaching one supreme divine target. Nata parataropaya, na ataha paratara. Ataha paratara. Better than this? No, there is no upaya. There is no other means. Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. In all the Vedas, that's what we see. And Brahma goes further. Tataha Prakashate Param Brahma. See, he has connected. I need not have made that statement before clarification. How does all this connect with Vedanta? Brahma himself says, once all this avarana, all this dirt, mala, vikshepa, all of them go away, then in that pure mind, so easily the Vedantic revelation does its work. Param Brahma Prakashate, and the example which we see in Atma Bodha is given here. Megha Paye. Over there it is said Megha Paye Amshumaniva. Here it is Megha Paye Ravi Rashmi Mandaliva Iti. So Ravi Rashmi Mandala is the orb of the sun, bright, shining. When the clouds move away, the vision of the sun remains unobstructed. Practically, almost last one. Punar Nārada Papracha. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna again and again asks a question. Bhagavan, on behalf of all of us, I guess this is asked. Kaha asya vidhi. What are the do's and don'ts in the practice of this Hare Rama mantra? It is called Maha Mantra. What is the practical restrictions on this practice? Tam Naradam Vacha Brahma Na Asya Vidhi. Wow. Exactly what you and I in Kali Yuga asked for. We don't want any rules. There is somebody in Bombay who last 8 years, I think, has been asking me periodically. Even when I lived in Himachal Pradesh, I would get a call. I have not met him so far, though I keep coming to Bombay nowadays. I live in Mumbai. I have not met him even once. I won't divulge his name, he may not like it. He calls me, and all the time his question is upon um, I have received a mantra from my guru, but I also like another mantra. Can I do both? Another day he asked me, can I repeat the mantra lying down on the bed? So believe me, 10 minutes before this webinar, I suddenly remembered him. He is not on our regular list, but he is in touch with me. So I sent him a WhatsApp. Please attend this webinar. It talks about Namocharana. You always have doubts. So many doubts here, sir. No one else has asked me so many doubts on just Namasmara. He has all the time conflicts on should I take bath before repeating Om Namah Shivaya? Which mantra is more powerful? I have a mantra in praise of my Guru. Their community has a Guru. And there's a mantra which praises their Guru himself. Is that mantra more powerful? Or is Om Namah Shivaya more powerful? Or can I practice both? And so on. And to this day, touch wood, I very patiently answered all his questions, though I am not very sure whether I gave the answers without any contradiction. Maybe 3 years ago, he might have asked me, can I practice 10 mantras every day? I would have said yes. Maybe last month I said no, just keep 2 or 3. But that's all right. In principle, he is a great Nama Upasaka. Hope to meet him. Other day I invited him for a satsang in Mumbai. He did not come. So he is waiting for Ishwar Darshan. I am waiting for his darshan. Anyway, Brahma answers, and it should delight you and me. Na asya vidihi. Lying down. In fact, to this young man in Santa Cruz, Mumbai, I said, you may lie down, but I put one restriction from my side. But don't change your position. Lie down and go on repeating the Nama, but don't change your position. He said, yes, Swami. Yes. Mostly WhatsApp, he hardly speaks. Sarvada Shuchihi Ashuchirva. Look at Brahmaji's generosity. Whether you have taken bath or not taken bath, or in any other way, Shuchi Ashuchi. Patan Brahmanaha, a spiritual seeker. Word Brahmana may be taken here as a spiritual seeker. There are 4 kinds of moksha. Sa lokata, samana loka. You go to the same loka, that is Vaikunta, where Mahavishnu resides. Samipata, you get to be very near him almost every day. Wonderful, that's also one form of moksha. Sarupata, as you are in Vaikunta, thanks to all this Namasmarana and Punya gained out of it, one morning you find that you also look like Mahavishnu, Rupa. You are not Mahavishnu, but you look like your body, your face, everything looks like. That is Samana Rupa. And Sayujya, that is becoming one with God. Salokya moksha, Samipya moksha, Sarupya moksha, and then Sayujya moksha are talked about in the scriptures. Now, really, in the last slide, what are the supreme rewards? This is a custom. Please don't think that why this is for thinking about reward. Is it not coming down to a lower level? We must love God without seeking anything else. That's all fine. But there are in this world many people who are prompted to do sadhana only when certain benefits are mentioned. So for them, take it as for them, not for well-read, well-informed people. Brahma completes his teachings. Yadasya Shodashikasya Sardha Trikotir Japati. Trikoti means 3 crores. 1 crore being 10 million. So 3 crores is 30 million. And another half koti. So 350 million, 35 million. So 35 million times. Don't have to count, you just go on doing. When you complete that 35 million times, Hare Rama mantra, the gravest sins that you might have committed in this life or in previous lives all get washed away. Like Brahma killing a Brahmin. And in modern times, you must say, killing somebody who is very pious, who is very harmless, who is learned, who is so divine in his personality. And you kill that person who has not done any harm to you. That's a Mahapapam. Tarati Veera Hatyam. So, same way, some glorious Kshatriyas, they are the great assets of any society. They are ready to give their life for the sake of justice, for the sake of protecting their land. And you, in your immaturity and madness, you kill a noble, righteous Kshatriya, Veerahatya. And Swarnasteya, you steal gold. Then you do some harm. You do some disservice to your own parents, Pitra and Matra. Deva, to God forms. Manushyanam, other people. So a list of sins are given and all those sins will be just wiped out if you do a large number of repetitions of this. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Sarvadharma Parityaga Papat Putaha. Putaha is purified. Punati means to purify, cleanse. Sadhyaha, instantly. There is no further delay. Shuchitam apnuyat. You will attain such unbelievable purity of antakarana. Sadhyo muchyate iti Upanishad. You will get instant liberation. In fact, the word instant, sadhyas, has the significance that you don't have to wait till your body drops. You get Jivan Mukti. This is the simple, broad, basic review of Kali-Santarana-Upanishad. Let me pause here. Perhaps some of you have something to say, something to add, some questions. They are welcome. Om Namo Nārāyana. The sentence that Upanishads are of the mind, isn't it considered to be of divine origin? Yeah, I think I clarified there. When Aurobindo praises Upanishads as the greatest products of the mind, one doesn't stop there. It's much more than that. But for us, it seems to be coming out from the mind of a rishi. So the mind of the rishi, in turn, has received it from divine source only. That is a clarification that has to be inserted. So one who speaks, one who recites the Upanishad, one who has the Upanishad in one's mind is not the source. It is divine origin. But these people become the medium. These people become the platform. These people becomes the voice for that divine vibrations. Yes. Vedas, entire Vedas are considered apaurushaya. Paurusheya means from human origin. Apaurusheya means from divine origin. So we are at best like a radio receiver, receives from the station. The radio receiver has no news or no music. When the radio receiver is tuned to a particular radio station, it plays that music, that song, that news, like that. Yeah, rishis are not the originators of Upanishads, which are part of the Vedas. They are the medium. Wonderful. Hope the simple Upanishad, and I have not done much research on it. Little bit I could collect and present. Hope it inspires all of us to do more Namasmarana, however scholarly we may be, however smart we may be otherwise. But when so many negativities rise in us, some anger about somebody, some sense of wanting to teach a lesson to somebody, and so on, all our scholarship tends to take a back seat. Then we must handle it, sit down, probably sit straight, and repeat your Ishta mantra, which could be Om Namah Shivaya also. Then that anger, that negative energy subsides. Then you find, wow, back to normal now. Then take up your study. Okay. Hare Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva.
Hare Om, Swamiji.
Hare Om.
Hare Om, Swamiji.
Hare Om. Hare Om.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hare Om.
See, okay, now I'm able to see.
Hare Om.
Hare Om, Swamiji.
Swamiji, there's one chat message.
Hare Om, Swamiji.
See you again in another webinar. Maybe next webinar in 2 weeks will be by a guest speaker.
Swamiji, there's a chat
We'll
message.
send the announcement. That's going to be on November 3rd.
Just telling him.
Hare Om.
There's a chat message, Swamiji.
Oh, there is something?
Yes, Swamiji.
Oh, three new messages.
One is the
Yes, so one of them says, surrender through bhakti and prayer is a simple, effective way, Swami. Thank you. Yeah. Surrender through bhakti and prayer. So many wise people have said, when there is a conflict between head and heart, you better go by the heart. This head is a mischief maker. The heart, of course, go to the depth of your heart, not superficial. The superficial, the surface layer of heart also has dvesha. The dvesha also, hatred also is an emotion. But in the depth of our heart, even when we are hating somebody, in the depth of our heart, we have love for that person. After all, I have also made mistakes. Why should I get so angry with the mistakes he or she has made? That voice comes from depth of the heart. On the surface, it is very calculative always and wants revenge and so on. So bhakti is the way of the heart. In Kali Yuga especially, all of us have to practice bhakti. We should be devoted to God, and we should practice even in human relationships things like gratitude. Was it not Ranjini Manian one who offered a webinar once under Fawai Forum, and she gave a tip? Start your day with meditation, end your day with gratitude. Somehow that stuck with me. Every night before going to bed, think of somebody or the other with gratitude. Keep changing it. And once in a while, try to be grateful to the person who may give maximum trouble to you. Say thank you. So, like that, Bhagavad Bhakti. Yes. Yeah. So, name is not given. Whoever has suggested that, Bhakti and prayer is a simple, effective way. It's written. That's wonderful. All. Those at this point.